Hello and welcome to another video of me trying to figure this car out with the overheating problem. So if you haven't seen any of the previous videos of me messing with this car, I bought this E36 turbo 2.5 swap built BS just over a week ago, and I took it to one drift event and I did 3 laps and it started overheating. So I changed the thermostat, didn't really do much. I flushed the system, did a coolant pressure test on it, didn't do anything. No matter what I do with bleeding the system, I keep getting bubbles in the system again, and I lose heat from the bottom radiator hose, stays cold. So I'm just at a point where done trying to be optimistic, and I'm just thinking worst case scenario at this point. So this car does have a cut ring head gasket, so the head gasket going out is very unlikely, especially with the boost that it's pushing. It's only 14 pounds on 91 octane. So if it was pushing like in the 30s, then it's like, all right, maybe. But so worst case scenario is the head might be warped from getting overheated, or I don't know why it started overheating in the first place. So this tool's out, and if you're a car guy, you know that when this tool's out, it's usually not a good day. This is a leak down tester, and if you don't know what this is, compressed air goes into the regulator, and then you can pressurize the cylinder up to 100 psi, and it goes in here and then out into the cylinder to pressurize the cylinder, and you can regulate how much goes in, and then this gauge tells you how much you're leaking. Usually you use this if an engine's hurt. You can test it to see if your piston rings are bad, you know, you got a hurt cylinder, or if you got a bent valve. So this can tell you a lot of things. Let's say you did like a compression test and one of the cylinders is low. This will tell you exactly what's going on. When you hear if there's leakage and you hear, let's say it's the exhaust, it'll come out of the exhaust. If the intake, it'll come out of the intake. If it's coolant, in my case, see bubbles coming out of the coolant. It could also, if it's the piston rings, then it'll be in like the crankcase. So you'll hear it in the crankcase when you take the oil filler cap off. So in this case, we're probably gonna hear some in the crankcase because this is gap for boost. The piston rings are gap for boost, but we're mainly looking to see which cylinder, or if any, give us some bubbles in the coolant system reservoir, and that will tell me what I need to know, that most likely the head gasket is shot, or in this particular case, the head is probably warped. So I've already got all the spark plugs out, and I've got the line that goes into the cylinder head hooked up. So now what you want to do is, when you do this, you want to make sure each cylinder is at top dead center and at compression stroke, because it could be at top dead center on the exhaust stroke, and no matter what you do, all the pressure that you put in here is just going to come out of the exhaust. So it has to be all the way up top and on compression stroke with both valves closed. So I'm actually going to take this back off, figure out a way to turn the engine over. Best way to do this is if the valve cover was off and I could see where both valves are, but I don't want to do that yet. So what I'm going to do is stick a screwdriver in the cylinder hole where the spark plug goes, and I'm going to watch it come all the way up, and I am going to listen for compression, and that will tell me that it is on compression stroke. Okay, so I went ahead and put my bleeder on here just to be able to watch the cooling system and have it top. And we're gonna go ahead and close this. I'm gonna try this again because I heard some stuff, but I don't think there's enough coolant Okay, we're gonna go up to 100. Watch for bubbles. So we got 100 in there. This is going to drop. Not seeing bubbles here, but I've got a leak. It's about 95 here, and I got 100 here. I can hear it leaking in the crankcase, but that's normal. I'm looking for an obvious coolant leak. I'm gonna try one other thing on cylinder 1 before I move on. Okay, so I wanted to try one last thing before I move on from cylinder 1 to confirm what I had a feeling that was happening, and sure enough, I've already cleaned this up to show you guys, but let's turn this guy down. More. Okay, just keep an eye on the level here in the reservoir as I add pressure. Watch this guy. If I go to 100, it's just gonna start peeing right off the top. So I wasn't able to see that with the reservoir that I had because the volume was so big I couldn't watch it come up. So yeah, that already confirms that we have a head gasket problem. In this car's case, it's most likely a warped head, so I don't even really need to do the rest of the cylinders, but I'm going to do all of them just to get an idea of what's happening, because if it's on one cylinder and not the rest, it could be an issue with the head, but if it's on all of them, it could be that the head just lifted. Yeah, I'm going to do the rest of them, and that'll give me a little bit of an idea of what I need to do moving forward, but we most likely have a bad head gasket or a warped head, and this is going to be very expensive. This was supposed to be just a seat time car, but now it turned into a car that's just going to sit on the side because I got way more important things to do. So I'm going to show you guys here. That's what really revealed it to me, because I kept just getting bubbles out of this bleeder here, which is the issue that I've been having with this car this whole time. Is I keep bleeding the system and I get more and more air. So I'm going to pressurize it and watch. It's just going to keep bubbling. Right here. I don't know if you can see the bubbles now. So, the issue I've been having this whole time is I would bleed it, go drive it, get on boost, then come back, and the system has a lot of pressure in it, and the heat stops working. The lower on the radiator is cold, so decided to take the valve cover off, check all the head studs. This car has ARP head studs in it, so recheck the torque on them. Some of them were loose, so I was like, all right, let me retorque all of them. Did it with by the sequence that ARP recommends, and then I rechecked the leak down, and seemed to get a little bit better. I got some of the cylinders to completely seal, and some are still leaking, but a lot better than before. What I ended up doing is I'm pretty much at a loss with the head and head gasket, so like this needs probably head work or a new head and head gasket. So I just torqued the
The RPS does a little bit more than they recommend, maybe a little bit more than a little bit, but I got a decent amount of the cylinders to seal. I'm going to show you guys. I got pretty much 1, 3, 4, and 5 to seal, and then 2 and 6 are a little on the weak side, but I'm going to put some pressure in there and watch the, oh damn it, hold on, the engine turned over. This happens if I turn it over too much. Good. I even went past 100. We've got about 9 here, so, and we don't have any coolant coming out, so this one was the worst actually. Yeah, I wouldn't call it fixed by any means, but I might just drive it like this for a little bit and have a little bit of fun with the car. Try not to overheat, because I don't have the budget right now or the time to do engine work on it. This was just supposed to be a seat-time car. I've got a competition car to get ready, and I gotta dive into a project that I'm more excited to work on than this BMW crap. So it's unfortunate, you know. I've only owned this car for less than 2 weeks. Did 3 laps in it, and this happened. So I don't know if it was already bad or it happened when I did that track day. I only did like 3 laps and it overheated. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna actually drive it a couple times like this and then retorque the head while it's warm. See if I can get it to come back a little bit. But for the most part, this car is just gonna get thrown into a corner and wait until I have time for it. So I hope you guys learned something from this video, and hopefully you learned how to do a leak down test, and hopefully you learned that BMWs suck. So I'll see you guys in the next one. There'll be better videos, more exciting stuff than this being bummed out crap. So please consider subscribing, comment what you think, and yeah, pretty beat up. So I'll see you guys in the next one.